In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance in this arena. There's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance in this arena. There's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited, mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance in this arena. There's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance in this arena. There's no chance to escape the fight by lore. Dive in deep and search for more.
Forgive me, my mic was off. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Wednesday night. We're the midweek right now. It's the Sparta HQ Network. We're here live for another episode for Anime Unlock. We have a very unique topic today, based on a particular classic that many people grew up on. And I will say this is really a really good topic. Right now, waiting for my co-host Wally. He should be showing up shortly. I'm hoping he don't let me down. Other than that, how's everybody doing? How's the week so far? How you dealing with the madness that's going on so far? We're here to have a very unique conversation about a very unique franchise, which I would say it found its way to stand the test of time. It's one of the best anime that came out during the early 90s. Was a heavy hitter, but I would say based on what's going on today in the anime industry right now, what's going on, what's being put out there, what's being produced, you'll wonder if you'll see another franchise coming out from this particular one, or series, you want to call it that way. So wait for a few more minutes to see everybody who's coming in to the conversation. Now, while we're waiting, I got a couple of questions to ask. What anime do you recognize or do you remember during the anime boom when it first came out in the 90s? What were the anime that caught your attention beside? Oh, excuse me. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Thank you very much, Eric. I really appreciate it. I had a question for you guys. When the anime first hit the United States airway in the 90s, what or which anime that caught your attention that created a huge following in your eye? I know Dragon Ball Z came out in the early 90s. It was Sailor Moon. There was Yu Hakusho. There was Digimon. There was Yu-Gi-Oh. There were a select few that became household names. Mobile Gundam. And at least so tell me guys, what anime during the 90s became a household name to you or you believe it created a huge following? That's something I'm very curious to find out because this conversation is very, very unique based on the one of the forerunners during the anime boom that took place in the Western region, which is the United States. Hey, boss man, how you doing? Yeah, Digimon. Oh, Digimon, Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh. hmm Peter, say Pokemon. Now, I would say this: if you know this anime, Zoid, if you think you have input to add to it, I will send the link to have you guys come on the panel because this is something has been. I won't go too geek out on this, but yeah, there was one of those franchise. I thought a video game would have come out with it ASAP, like others. I found out they had a couple of games that came out in the Japanese market. Ladies and gentlemen, here's my co-host, Wally. What's going on? Oh, somebody not playing no game. Cowboy Bebop was one. Battle with Angel Alita was two. Evangelion, I don't like Evangelion because it's I thought that anime, but it was kind of like a horror, but it's deep. Full Metal Alchemist, but that was a little later. Yeah, you're correct. Hey, Wally, what's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, people?
I hope you don't have your hand in the cookie jar today.
And if I did, I definitely would not be here.
You hear that, Eric?
I don't know how much times I got to keep on saying that. If I did, I would not be here.
I had to take the joke away from Eric first, because normally Eric will be saying that thing about you. So how's your week?
Hot,
Oh, that sound like
mega, leaping hot.
Florida. That sound like Florida heat wave. For real.
Yeah, hot.
So, so it was dry hot, humid hot, wet hot, or just straight killer hot.
Hot as in you would retreat and run away hot. The hot that you don't even want to even consider it to be summer. You don't even consider this summer. You just believe that it is just this is unbearable. This is the type of hot that's gonna make you want to sweat in your bed to the point that you're not even doing nothing.
You see this we were doing right now?
I have no
Over
answer for
here.
you either.
Inuyasha. Oh, that was the yo Inuyasha with a heavy hitter. This anime right now we about to talk about Zoid was that heavy hitter, but I had some curiosity. No, not yet. The first two seasons of this one were the heavy hitter. The first one was called Zoid Chaotic Century, was back in 1999 to 2000. Very unique. Everybody think it was Voltron we were watching. No, it's not Voltron. It's a complete different ballgame. But it gave it a unique idea. Let me read the introduction. Zoid Chaotic Century came out in 1999 to 2000. It's the first full anime series adapting the Zoid mecha franchise. Crafted by Ebex / Takara Tomy, it redefined the brand with a mature narrative, military drama, and mythological intrigue. Now, I won't call it mythological, but it was a mixture of a lot of philosophy, a lot of ideas,
You know, you would
a
call
lot.
it mythological because those pet zoids were not normal.
Yes, we know it was not normal. But if you look at the animal characteristic of these zoids, it was a long list. Think about it.
It may be a long list,
It's
but
like
most of
almost
those were very special zoids.
there was an anime that you can say they touch almost every type of animal group that you can think of, and it depends on the classism, meaning from the regular, what people call the cute, cuddly Zoids, to the beast-like Zoid, to the one is more like I'm gonna steal your lunch Zoid. Then we got the big boss Zoids, and they was like, whew, if you have watched Zoid, if you see some of the crazy battle, they was not playing around. Like a free fall. That's how bad it is. And the company that was making those droids, they made a killing on that. So let's talk about the setting. Planet Z. I wish they had a better name for this, but yeah, I think with Planet D. Home to biomechanical beasts, Zoid, fighting in the aftermath of a fragile truce between the Helic Republic and the Galos Empire. The core lore introduced organoids, that's known for Zoid, sentient biozoid from Nickelodeon, and the future Zoid behind. I want to give you guys an idea what I'm talking about. We have to share the screen too in a second. see this?
Uh,
We Zoids. Dinosaur age, kingdom, article, king, name it. It was holding that. It was all weaponry. We have a Kong. Yo, these Zoid were badass. Talk about badass. When you see these Zoid fight, you be wondering how you get into these Zoid and you're piling and you get your butt kicked all over the place. That what made this Zoid really crazy. I was like, oh hell no. I just a sample. So let me stop this screen share, get back to the conversation. I think you got the idea because they used to have it on Netflix. No, did they have it on Netflix? No, no. I believe you can watch it on Crunchyroll. You can watch it on High Anime on any other anime streaming website. You can find it. This is the first season. And it had like how many episodes? I forgot what it was. Was it 50 something episodes?
from not it's in there. It's in there. So
Uh but it was a cool at it was a cool anime for real, for real. Main character, Ben Flyhart, weird name. 14-year-old farmer son who discovered Zeke and Fiona in the ancient ruin, idealistic and courageous. Zeke, the organoid. That right here. That is Van Flyhart. Van companion with healing power, merging ability, and lifelike personality and wildlife curiosity. Fiona is a amenic, amnesiac ancient Zodia girl, key to the legendary Zoid E. That's her right here. Arvine and Mumbai, mercenary ally, initially antagonist to sharp eye and intentiveness from the team. This will be Arvine. There'll be Mumbai in the back. I remember the characters. Which other character we have to if I remember correctly? Oh, did we put a character? Okay. The first arc was Discovery and War in Nixon. Let me play this. The way they did the introduction about this thing, it wasn't like the other series that came out where they were doing a very clear introduction. What it's all about. If you watch the Droid franchise, the first two seasons follow the same timeline. After that, all the other series that came out, it was not matching the timeline at all. It was not. It was very, very unique. What did Eric say? He meant what? I kind of meant it would appear. Oh, I see. Zoe was heavy circulating in the eastern region of the United States. New York, Jersey, Connecticut. It was a very popular. I think they had it on Cartoon Network, but it was a cool ass anime for real. I'm not gonna front, but I felt it could have had a huge following if they had the video game available with a battle formation that made it very interesting. Because here's the joke about these droids. There's a lot of weaponry you can add or attach to it or customize or upgrade over time. It could have been a cool game to play, but for something they have in Japan. The plot, what's the, okay. Here was the plot. Arc 1, Discovery and War in Nixon. Ben finds Zeke and Fiona revive a ruined Shearliger to defend his village. I think I can find the image of the Shearliger. Okay. Trying to see if I can get access to the imagery. There it is. Which I can share the screen so you have an idea. be loading right now. This what the shield lighter that we're referring to. This memorable beast. That's Zeke, Ben, and Fiona. Think about it. When he get into the Zoid, Zeke will merc with this Zoid and give him more extra ability. That's how the whole thing tower started off. It was like about let me see, 1, 2,
No, there was 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 4 organoids. And I was like, okay, this was getting very interesting. Look over here. Zeke belonged to him. She had an organoid. He had an organoid. And there was one other character.
No, those 2 different characters besides him that had them.
And remember, there were four organoid, right?
Yeah, those 4 organoids.
Yeah, Ben had one.
Right.
This character here with the blue hair, she had one. He had one. Yes, yeah, the main boss. He had another one. I remember that. That would be here. That had to do with the red hair. I forgot what his name was.
Well, I think I gave some of the pictures in there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, but there was 4 organoids in there. I know it's like what we got the baby T-Rex, they got the dragon. I forgot the other
The
2.
second one here.
Yeah,
That was the second organoid.
raptor.
There was this one right here.
And then the
Red.
black one, which was the dragon.
And this one right here. Yeah, you were right. Black one with a dragon. Yo, there was like next level AI had its own personality, had its own mind, had its own brain. Well, but what was like a rivalry was between the silver one and the black one. And that's what it was. So let me minimize this. Let me cut this one off. Second. With the banner leader Raven, he wielded his black organoid equipped with joy emerged as band rival. Right? Political intrigue and proposing riot involving Genosaur. Now this was one sick ass story. Forged from a clone deck for MPs. The Genosaur, if I remember correctly, was more like a dinosaur. A T-Rex. Almost unbeatable. Van upgraded his Blade Lagger with Zeke and Fiona to fight for balance. The second arc was the Death Sword and the Ancient Secret. When Van defended battled the clone Death Swords, protecting Prince Randolph, and ultimately destroying the beast somewhat, uttering a short-lived peace. That thing came back the second time, but that thing got mutated. Dark 3 Guardian Force. I believe that's what well, not the second season. I might be wrong. A year later, Van joined the joint peacekeeping force called Guardian Force. Hidden Village Heat reemerged, beaten with an Ormod droid like Death Stinger and revived the Death Sword using external power. Correct. Mutated. Final confirmation, Van launched via a gravity cannon through the ultimate Death Sword to destroy it and defeat it and return the balance in view. There's more detail, but I was trying to get more information on this thing. Now, the only reason I felt like this anime could have done better, because remember I mentioned before, like almost every anime that came out there was a lot of merch. The merch for the Zoid was coming from Takawatomi, who was selling no merch out here in the US. But I don't know, I think where they were placing the marketing, it didn't do too well. What do you think, Wally?
Give me a moment.
I remember during those time when the thing came out, we had to order it from other area, the countries.
All right.
Unless you got to hook up with the Chinese folks.
So to me, why Zoids didn't become that popular or why it just didn't trend out the way it panned out, I do believe it was pretty nice in a sense because this is like a mech within more of an animal type vibrary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because at the same point, you can somewhat say it's sort of like Gundam. The only thing is though, with this, it only can go so far. There wasn't that much of a transformation. There wasn't like other than the weaponry, but there wasn't that much of a big transformation at that point. Um, and then let's be honest, even though like Zeke was like one of those special organoids that can
Mm-hmm.
somewhat reevaluate and realive some of these
18 droid or broken down
bots,
droid.
yeah, these bots, pretty much it's it didn't really over expand to a whole another dimension of it. It's just like, okay, you revive, you retool, you reassess. It's like, all right, cool. Well, you just re-put them back online, but you don't really change anything. And when it comes to be that sterile, it's like it don't go that far.
Now, I will have to agree with that part. It was almost like it was feeling like you're almost watching movie to Gundam. But the Gundam philosophy, it did not go along with the Zoid philosophy. Even though there wasn't that much transformation going on. The first two seasons, it was more so like adding, upgrading weaponry, upgrading the mode of the Zoid. Either exchange from one type to a different type or to be based on growth and experience. When they had these Zoid battle, these battle were more wide. It's like it's almost wide open. Some Zoid was fast, some Zoid was slow, some Zoid doesn't require to move around because it was a heavy artillery. Some Zoid was lightning fast that it was giving a sonic boom. And like there was a lot of variation.
Yeah, but I mean, granted, even though it didn't have a lot of transformations, it's not to the point like the transformation really was the bothering point. It's the idea of just because you got to think about it, right? You would
Hmm.
have to like you said earlier, Gundam. It's pretty much at the same tier set of Gundam, just with an animal like feel. Like okay, you're in the jungle, which technically they did put them in the same bracket. So like okay, we seen like sort of like scorpions. Scorpions they're in the desert, so they live up to the element. We've seen certain type of ligers or wolves, that live up to that element of where they were. The shield
Hmm.
liger, I don't know how they based that as far as the desert, but that was there, and et cetera, et cetera, right? So there was ways around like they were sort of trying to fit the elements of certain type of bots and Zoids that were fitting the imagery of where they are in the certain sectors of
Hmm.
where they were. So that means, so sort of it's like, there was some type of, component there. I just think like just because how some of them were, like you would think they'd do something better. Like, maybe like the Ligers had like some type of special like claw strike, like, they did some type of slash. Just be a little bit more innovative with their type of techniques. Because it just seems very like too simple minded.
Can't even argue your view because it's very clear, very objective. I also believe the issue that would affect in this franchise, this anime, was the lack of an expansive storyline to make it more compelling. If you think about it, from the very first episode, we talk about what? What was the number one reason why? certain anime or a lot of the anime day long. Character building, right? Talk about building a character over time whereby it had its own unique presence compared to other character in that particular franchise. Yet we hear about the Zeke, one of the organoids, a awaken a old Zoid that looked like supposed to be out of commission but came back to life. They got on it and had to battle, trying to find information concerning Yona and her mystery whatsoever. But it's almost as if the characteristic almost fell short compared to Mobile Suit Gundam, right? You got to give them credit with their franchise. They took their time to build out their character and trying to flesh it properly. So they give the character some depth. It's not so.
I mean, they could because well, you got to think about it too, though. But my thing was with so I'll say it like this, right? Yeah, you're
Hmm.
pointing it more so on the main character that pilots the Gundam, and maybe
Hmm.
give a sort of history background with the Gundam. Now, granted, yeah, with the Zoids, there wasn't that much of a history background with the Zoids. I mean, they're pretty much just animals in reflection. So there's not really much of a background scene of why they're doing it with these type of animalistic things and why they're using it for war per se, give or take one way or the other, or who created the idea of these Zoids and why they're or why they're in use of this timeline.
Hmm.
But but the other thing that I would hit this on in a sense is also because you have to think of it too. I mean, because when they start the story, right, we all we know is that the main character's father was a Zoid pilot, and he pretty him with other people sacrificed themselves to try to bring peace. They passed away and everything else of that nature, yada yada. So now, granted, when the young son finds the organoid, which funny enough, if you guys look at the first two episodes, the building he entered in to find the organoid was actually a reflection of the organoid because the tomb was literally the same image as him when he found the organoid. Literally the same reflection.
Makes sense. It does. But at the end of it, even though that was the case, remember what I say, like you're telling a story, right? I won't say the storytelling in Zoe was bad.
It was just incomplete.
No, that I say it was good.
Well, I'm not gonna say it wasn't good. My thing is, it was definitely a story that literally needed some backdropping, like a whole lot of backdrops.
Bingo.
Because you can tell,
Bingo.
like in the first few episodes, when when the main character finds Zeke, the one thing Zeke did before leaving there, he went back to that same place where his tube was and let the main character know that hey, he needs to leave. Before he leaves, he got to go with this because there was another tube there, and that tube was with the female, aka the main character, the second character that you see right here in this picture. And why? Because she's a link in cohesion, but she just don't have her memory, which is why she has amnesia for whatever reasons, and she's trying to remember throughout
I
the
can
whole
totally
series.
correct. Because if you watch the whole series, it wasn't when you watch them back then, you would not think about too much of the storyline at first. But as the episode progressed, you start to feel like something was lacking. Even though graphic wise it was doing good,
I
it was
mean,
showcasing different type of Zoid, different type of possibility, different type of functionality. I think to me, I think one of the best unique Zoid that was underrated was the Kong Zoid. It was Gorilla Zoid, whereby there were multiple variations of these types. The last variation I remember seeing with it had like a spike for different shoes that where it got the berserker mode. I'm like, okay, cool. That kind of makes sense. But not so many doors have unique functionality that set it apart from the other door. It was only a selective few that would gain that type of push. So you ask me, if they want to reboot this, right? What would you have changed? What would you have added? What would you have removed? How would you have told your story about this? Well, I know Eric said they would derive from a Twilight, which is totally correct, which is no different from Transformer, nor G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe Transformer would derive from a Twilight. Are we not correct, Wally?
No, yeah, it definitely was. That's why I had to recheck it before I did anything.
Okay. Because I'm thinking about a lot of things about the anime. It's like there's a room for improvement. To make it better, to get it better. But the storytelling, it had to make sense a little bit more. So if you were given the opportunity to reboot this franchise, what could you have done?
I mean, the main thing I would have definitely did is there has to be a history of where this, well, particularly this character came from. Because one, why did Zeke was so adamant of only leaving with this chick? Because let's be real, Zeke was the only one that had this particular partner around. The other organoids, I don't believe, had that. So that's a mystery in itself. Two, there's a certain link that she has with the organoids. Three, you're left in a tube. Why? Yeah, there's some reason for that. So and then there's no backdrop in who created these things. Let's know that. Who's the creator? We don't know that. So there's a lot of mysteries. It's like, oh, they just came out of thin air. Thin air of what? Like what metallic? Because technically, right? Gundam, they're from a special alloy, right? So what alloy is this really come frame of? All that stuff. So there's a whole lot of things that are not well known of these Zoids perpetually. Like there's a whole things that we're missing out of this overall.
And I totally agree because I watched a lot of these Joy, and I watched it from back to that when I had a chance when I was like, didn't watch now some old school anime that kind of like bring me back memory. And don't get me wrong, I did like it, but I felt they would have kind of given a compelling story to make it much deeper, much broader because could have had it whereby some of these Joy belong to different clans. That's just one of the ideas I had in my head. It could be like, okay, this certain Joy belong to the clan, this certain Joy belong to the clan. This one did. You could have done something better with it.
Well, yeah, because I
But,
mean, like
but
I
let me.
don't remember if they ever
Oh yeah.
spoken like if the captains, right? I don't know the other people that have the organoids. I don't know if they ever spoke how they got theirs per se, or where they found theirs and how they found theirs. But I mean, there's a whole lot. That's what I'm saying. Like the idea of who created these things, how they came to existence, why were they made into existence, and everything else. Because think about it, even in the first episode, you will hear one of the guys from the other group. They said that they found the Zoid on the outside skirts, which is the Scorpion Zoid. So it was pretty weird to hear that they found it, and then they just automatically just start putting it to use. So
But here's the thing: on multiple of these series of Joy, some found it underground, some found it underwater, some found it in the mountains, Some find it in the cave.
Right.
That's what it was. So when you put on, when you elaborate about the backstory about how they came to exist, it didn't really explain it too well. Plus, you were the forerunner of a franchise. It's almost as if they're repeating some of the mistakes that Transformer did. When it first started, don't you think?
Well, I will say this in in a contrary sense of what Eric said earlier. Usually, because technically, since this did came from a toy line, this
Hmm.
never had a constructive variational storyline, aka manga, that ever started. This came from a toy line, expanded to being a manga and a video game and all this other stuff. So, there has to be something of that nature. But I guess whoever was the writer or whoever they got to be the writer, they didn't ultimately think too much of it so far ahead, give or take. So it's sort of like it had a lackluster moment because you got to think about it. One, this was mech in the form of animals. That's one, and how you sell it. Now, the only problem is again though, common sense is there had to be a creator. Where is that original creator? Is he still alive? He's passed away. Who's taking up on this concept of reviving these Zoids? Because if you're finding them in the desert, water, somewhere in some parts of the outskirts of land, there has to be a process of rebuilding these back up or activating them. So how does that work? Who knows the original functions to bring these back to life? So to quote unquote, or who has the tools to bring them back to life? Because again, there has to be something. Unless you have an organoid, and then yeah, the organoid helps you fix it. But other than that, then what? What are the other reasons? So there's a lot of things that are like scapegoated out of this, as far as I can remember. But yeah, yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was trying to figure out what was missing, what was lacking, what could have been done here, what could have been done there, how to make this one make sense. So for one, when Zeke, one of the organoid, came into existence, they was next to a tube, right? But the three other organoid already came out already before Zeke. What tomb did they come out from?
yeah.
It's almost like when we were writing the story, they didn't get enough time and chance to expound on the storyline. Remember, we talked about some of these animes that could be real great, but they dropped the ball. But somehow, whatever they did in the first two major seasons of this anime, they tried to do it better on the next one. And the next one, they're trying to expand on it more. They're trying to expand more. They're trying to add more storyline, add more variables. It's like saying, let's learn from our mistake for the first one so we do better on the second one. Would I be correct in your view?
I mean, yeah, because usually if anything's rushed, then yeah, you would want to do something more. Because again, certain things like this are very. Sometimes when it's like, okay, we had toys, probably they meant to like to try to give a deeper insight. So they went to the manga, and then the manga sort of like was a little bit rushed. So it's like, okay, let's get deeper because people want a more clarified version. You know, stuff like that. Because you already know when someone's really bought into it, the toy is one thing, but now they need the backdrop story towards the toy. And if there's no backdrop story towards it, then it just becomes lackluster. The toy just becomes an
Bingo.
afterthought.
Bingo. Bingo. Hit on a nail. Looking at the theme and the tone, look at what it says. It's not just kid mecha. It tackle war trauma, political manipulation, loyalty, and redemption. It ain't felt like it's supposed to be a kid anime.
I mean, it technically wasn't. The main character was 17 years old, about to be 18. So,
Pretty much. Character arc from Van growth to Arvine, redemption, Raven rivalry to Fiona rediscover her origin. The biotech mystique, Organoid and Zeke and Zoid E lore lend the mythic depth. The final arc depth 18 Junior civilization. Now, here's the thing: of all the series under this franchise, there was no clear backstory of this so-called Junior civilization. Is that safe to say?
Say that one more time.
Looking at this right here, I'll tell you about the biotech mystique. Okinawa Zoid lore and mystic depth, the final arc depth into the ancient Zodiac civilization. Of all the other Zoid series, there was no real deep explanation by the Zoid civilization, the Zodiac civilization. It did not think much of that.
And that's why I'm saying like this, like they pretty much this was like they put this at the back burner, which honestly they should have been like in the middle continuously being taught, and that's what I'm saying. Like where this all came from is very much good because think about it, it had to be a civilization because again, Zeke, the one that we find first when the series starts, was literally in a tomb reflected of itself. Why was that?
Good question. Real good question.
So again, to see that, so again, that also would have this brought a whole bunch of stuff to it.
So think about it one. Production and reception. It was 67. I was right, there were two seasons. The first one was the Kiara Tentry
Well,
for
there was two
episode
parts.
134.
There's
With
still
two
one
parts.
season.
Oh, still one season, okay.
Yeah.
Two parts, still one season, the Kiara Tentry and the Guardian Force. 67 episodes total. Animation and music. Peak animation during the climatic battle, which that's the credit to that one. Ultrasoid and gravity cannon. I don't know how you do this one. You get in your Zoid, the Liger. You climb in that gigantic Zoid that have a gravity cannon. You get shoot out from the cannon like you're a bullet. If you think whatever we make the trajectory, that they'll be flying by now. What you think? And then the blade Liger before it became the shield Liger. When it mentions it, well, oh, sound design support and emotional storytelling, the emotion wasn't that all there yet.
I mean, it was there, but not in the way. Like it wasn't like dire, dire emotional, but it was
Mm,
there.
it was. It was like they will say certain anime when they're doing the storyline, it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you try to make it make sense, but that was the problem. I remember when Paul Bennett would talk about the creator of the Transformer franchise with a toy line. Enough said. That and G.I. Joe nothing but toy line. Well, Olympic that turned into a cartoon, which is we have today. Like I you, widely considered the strongest Zoid anime, praised for a deep narrative and admitted quality and mature theme.
I mean, it's the only Zoid. It's the only Zoid anime.
I, that's the thing. Unless you consider Transformer a Zoid or Mobile Gundam a Zoid, which is not a Zoid.
No, but that's the thing though. See, they not considered Zoids because again, this is mech. Like this is okay. At the overall, it's mech, but Zoids, like they have to be considered animals. I mean, the only thing that competes with this is only really Power Rangers, and that technically you can't really compare the two because it's overly different other than the main things here. So that's a very so again to say the strongest Zoids. anime, it's the only Zoids anime. There hasn't been another Zoids anime.
It was the only Zoid anime, but you talk about strong. Hmm. I would say when it's strong, I would say the strength was not being elaborated properly. Don't you agree?
No, yeah, the main thing I would not give it that much of a high praise is because again, the way it sound like because there is a future jump in this, it sounded like if you actually didn't future jump this could have went on to like almost 100 episodes.
It could have.
So yeah, it ain't that strong. You're strong enough, but it ain't that strong.
So look at this one. If widely considered strongest Zoid was the most strongest Zoid, it's the only Zoid anime. Pray for deep narrative, not really too deep, animated quality, and mature theme, localization. It was aired in Toonami in 2020, no, in 22, 2002 and 2003. A Japanese Blu-ray was released in 2013, though really internationally speaking. Now, I wish I could have caught that. Who knows what information would have put into that DVD set?
Yeah, because I believe Zoids they originally aired 2000, but they came on Toonami in 2002.
Mm-hmm. And I say, why did it matter? First, to bring large-scale storytelling and emotional weight to the Zoid franchise. No, I want to say it bring large-scale storytelling.
Well, I'll just say this: it's definitely the founding father, even though it's the only founding father. It's literally that's the main thing I'll say. It's the only like it's the founding father of it all because this is where it all starts.
Introduced novel concept, organoid Zoid E revisited only in later series, with character driven development elevated beyond. I won't say it was rich.
Yeah,
It was
it was
somewhat
average
average. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
because if it
Average.
was rich, I think now granted I don't remember the whole anime, but if it was rich, I would believe the main character probably keeps on hearing the like his father's stories back in the days. Like people know of his father, and then they keep telling him stories of his back in the days, like how he was courageous and all this other stuff. To like at least build on the legacy part. But other than that, not that highly rich. And then of course you have a person literally you have a secondary character that doesn't even remembers itself literally to no avail, which is slowly trying to remember what the hell they are and who the hell they are. Uh, so yeah, uh, like
And
again, it's the first of its own kind.
yet it was. But somehow it keep on trying to reinvent itself.
Yeah,
But it's safe to say that they was somewhat dodgeable with able to do a not a reboot, but able to find back in the continue the storyline, so to speak. I'm trying to find something because I'm going through my head. This was a cool anime, but it was lacking some kind of level of depth to make it be like, oh, I gotta watch this. The only thing that motivated me to watch this anime was the Zoids. What about you?
so let's say that question one more time.
The only thing that got me into by this anime was all because of the Zoid.
Yeah, I think honestly, yeah, the animal stuff was really cool because again, like even from a standpoint of just like toys coming to now manga, like this is pretty cool. Like this is because again, I think the one big thing about Zoids, if they got it correct, the storyline, if they got the storyline correct, which would have then made the Zoids popular. Because honestly, again, one thing that anime has in this generational time is the props of knowing that they can sell these action figures slash models of these things. Because let's be honest, a Liger or any version, anything, any Zoids, any figurementation of Zoids would be a very huge collector's item.
And now here the drift though. Zoid model kit could have been a rival to the Gundam Gunpla. They had a long list. Let's not get it twisted. I would give it an A plus with the creativity of making all these different type of Zoids. Their functionality and the look. Okay? It was next level creativity.
I'll tell you this right now. If anyone thinks that Voltron was special, I'm like, yeah, look at Zoid's lines versus Voltron's. They don't compare.
So, let me put it like this. I want someone to come up here who must have watched this series back then. And I know it may sound shady, but when Eric mentioned this came from a toy line, G.I. Joe Transformer was the OG of anime based on a particular toy line. So I once wanted to tell me how will you confine this whereby the idea was copy in a way? Trying to find a word.
They said copy.
There was a point where Mobile 2 Gundam looked like we were trying to copy from Zoid. And the other time Zoid looked like we were trying to copy from Mobile 2 Gundam.
Yeah, I don't see it. The only reason why is because Zoids, again, like the only thing difference, like the thing similar to it is one is a pilot. Like you need a pilot. That's one. Two, the other problem, the small difference is the length of said pilot. Because you got to think about it. Like one, there has to be a certain particular link. There was no real major link between, this pilot running up, the Liger or anything else of that nature. It was like, it's the organoid. So the organoid was the big different special effect, add-on to the Zoids overall. They were, quote unquote, the original mechanic of these organoids. I mean, Zoids, everything else, right? So there's a special material with them. Whereas if it's a Gundam just had to be fixed because you actually know there was the materials for the Gundam, someone that can actually fix this and everything else of that nature. Whereas
Now, I'm glad you said it because looking at the Gundam, the level of variation based on how the Gundam be built, which material be built, how you progress from the first version of Gundam to the next level version of Gundam, it was detail heavy compared to Zoid. And I think that was what they was lacking.
yeah, I just think the only thing with Zoids, it's like, this is why I keep saying it's the founding father, but it's the only father because, again, I don't see no one ever thinking like, okay, I'm gonna ride behind the Zoid archetype and do this too. It's not able, like, you can look at how they did it and then be like, if someone thought that they can do better, they would have already. And they can't. They can't sell that ish. They just can't.
Okay, let me read this one. Kiara Country is a 1999 breakthrough Zoid narrative blending mecha action and deep lore, character arc, and wartime complexity. It established a template that shaped every Zoid product that followed. Whether you are a mecha fan or you're looking for a mature anime adventure, this is, man, at the time, it did. But
Yeah, it's only remain a standout because no one ain't gonna copy this thing. No one is not going to enter in this field and say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Zoid archetype." They ain't gonna do it Because how far do you go? How far do you go with this? How far?
You got a point. You do got a
I mean, do humans get to fuse with the Zoids and then they become like half Zoid, half human mixture? Like it's very tough. And then you got to think about it. You're still a pilot at that. Like, mm-mm.
I think that was the case. Even though we talked about it, I want to talk about upcoming anime because I know it would have been an interesting conversation. We're gonna drag it out, but the all said to say that it needs work to be done on it. So I was saying that if we have these type of issues, now we can't say too much. I want to talk about upcoming anime that's about to come out pretty soon.
Oh yeah, no problem. Because yeah, this is pretty short for us.
So I want to add a screen share.
Move this out
Give
of
me
the
a
way.
second.
We're done with this.
Window. Yeah. July. Next month. Argue number 8. Have anyone watched this anime?
Yeah, I don't know nothing of it, sadly.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Before you dip and that into season 1 on Kaiju number 8, please watch. I mean, so before you dive into season 2, please get into season 1 first. You can watch it on Crunchyroll. You can watch it on High Anime, and many other platforms. The one that coming out on July 3rd is already on Netflix. According to my kids who watched them,
Dan. I remember. I remember this. I don't know. Do we have this on our list? Supposedly.
no. Let me call my son into the play. No, you don't have to show your body. You can you can cover your chest. But I ain't trying to have no girl come to my house, knock on the door, because they see you, I will whoop their ass.
Pause.
So, from your point of view, what do you think about Danadam? Come on, speak to the mic.
Oh, it's good. Like it's all right. I wouldn't say that fire, but kind of overrated. Fire
We out of 5, what will you give it?
out of 5,
2 out of 5, 3 out of 5,
Three.
4 out of 5?
3.
3? So it's all right.
Yeah, cause like it's good enough, but like it can be like kind of freaky.
It's good enough but freaky.
Yeah.
You hear that, guys? It's on Netflix. It's also on Crunchyroll. It's also on High Anime and any other streaming platform that's straight anime. But according to my son, he watched the whole season. It's cool, but it had a freaky thing behind it.
Super freaky.
Yeah, it's weird. I watched my kid watching it. I never got a chance to watch it all the way through, so I let them watch it themselves. So that's coming out in July.
Oh, Sakamoto Holidays.
Sakamoto Day, season 1, part 2. Want to speak on it?
Yeah, tell me right now. That one, I got 5 out of 5. Everything is good. And the manga too. The artwork and everything, the storyline is fire.
Hear that?
It's mostly about assassins. This one guy who retired.
What's going on,
Oh.
Lady Novoa?
Hey, Lady Nova, how you doing? We don't have
Alright,
my
so-
son here because I'm tight because some of these anime I'm supposed to watch, right? He beat me to it. And he was digesting the whole anime. So I had to pick his brain to see if the anime was cool or not, if should I watch it or
So
not.
he said this is actually a 5 out of 5 for this one.
Yeah, Sakamoto Days, it's on Netflix also, but it's all about a retired assassin running a shop. And he considered to be the best of the best of the best of the best assassin. Like, call him the real OG. Now, yet, so many upcoming assassins want to make a name for themselves. And the dumbest idea was, let's go after the OG assassin to make a name. Like, really? Do you not learn from John Wick?
Well,
What did John Wick do with the ranking system?
he buried the ranking system.
Bingo. They wanted way more than Barry. He bitch
Tortured,
slap.
traumatized the ranking system.
No, they were with bitch slapping, molly whopping, sunning it. He didn't did it. He didn't did it the ranking system, but if he wanted to, he could have. He made them look like they're piss poor, like they're not up to the par.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
That's the other one. From my kitchen, July 5. I don't know too much about that anime. I can look into it more about the storyline to get a clear understanding. So I pick a couple of things I would add on to our server. Now, we did talk about this one, didn't we? July 10th, Dr. Stone, Season 4, Part 2. I'm telling you guys, Dr. Stone is one of the anime to look after. They got all season 1, season 2, and season 3 on Netflix. If you have a Netflix account and you want to watch them for the weekend, I would highly recommend you watch Dr. Stone. There's a must watch for you and your friend and your family. This is something very educational, but very logical, very unique. I get that one a 5 out of 5 star. That's me. The next one, City the Animation. I don't know too much about that anime.
That looks like a kid's anime.
Yeah, so I'm not even gonna give a dab on that one. This one, the summer that Hikaru died. I watched the preview and the summary on another YouTube channel. This is like straight off horror in a very unique way. Very twisted plot. No, thank you. Looking for an anime that's scary and twisted? That's your man right. The next one, at the Seven Prince Season 2. Another cool anime, unique storyline. The Isekai anime. I would give it a 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, so to speak. I have it, but it's pretty, it's getting there. It's a cool anime to watch, I'm not gonna lie to you. Now, I never got a chance to talk about this anime, but it's up there. The storyline is compelling. It's like never look down on the underdog kind of anime. It was legit, cool as anime. The writing of the sheer hero. This is season 4. You gotta watch season 1, 2, and 3. You can watch season 1 on Netflix. I believe you can see season 1, 2, and 3 on Hulu. As well on Crunchyroll, any other streaming platform that have out there. Very good anime to watch. I take my hat off to the storyline, to the storytelling. They got some depth in it. The backlog, the backstories, yeah, they have that. What a magician, I'm not too. There's some anime I want to talk about. When coming, some I wasn't too sure. Kind of looking more further. And I would say, what am I doing? One of them. These right here is straight up horror.
Apocalypse Bringer, Minogura, and Call of the Night. Oh, it looks. Let's see. Now, July 4th may be something I'm gonna have to look out for.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are an anime fan, what anime are you looking forward to watching in July? Come on, give me some suggestion or selection and why. This is the anime show. We will talk about new anime. We'll talk about old school anime. We'll talk about upcoming anime that it can come a neck big thing, or maybe it may do. I just feel like the summer is going to be one of the hot seasons. You have a lot of bunch of heavy hitter anime coming out. But it all depend on, like I say, storyline, character creation, character building, so forth. What are you looking forward to watch this coming next month, Wally? Let me hear from you.
I mean, some of them are interesting. I mean, definitely needed to go look at some of those because I did heard of some of those names, but I don't know. I don't know too much about a lot of those, other than Doctor Stone, which I did watch a little bit, so could be interested in that. Even though I still have to finish season one with then 2 and 3 to even touch 4.
Hmm.
So yeah, but definitely though, there's a couple of those that I do need to look at for sure. Even that the anime with the shield, yeah, because that name popped up.
Oh, you mean let me go back to that.
Yeah,
The
the Rising
Rising
of the
of the
Shield
She
Hero.
Hero. The
Yeah, that's
first
how that.
season. When I watched the first season, it caught my attention. I was like,
Yeah, 'cause I think what
ooh.
this is like the second one that's been named for season 4. So I guess it must be good.
I'm telling you, the first season with a good plot twist. It was like, yo, they made this guy feel like he was the weakest of the weak. Not realizing over time, he ended up being the strongest of the heroes. The action is on point, the plot twist is on point. Storyline, we've got to guess where will you go? Where do you need to get done? Where you can get back to your world? Your own time. What you got to do? That was that anime right there. A plot twist that should show you more backdoor of certain characters. Why they made certain choices. Very unique anime. I was thinking it might have 2 more seasons. I don't know. Might be wrong, but who knows? Come on, audience. You got to have an anime you're looking forward to watch. Because we're gonna be talking about a lot of anime. Like I said, we criticize anime, we give praise to it. Better yet, on our final thought, I know you're gonna talk about the Zoid. I want people to put on the comment section on this show what you think could have made the anime more interesting concerning Zoid. I want you to put the comment on that and break it down in detail if you have to. Because you're not gonna give no anime no slack if they're not trying to do their job and kind of like pit poor. No, we roasting it. It's what it is. Am I right, Wally?
Say that one more time.
I'm saying we will give tough criticism when needed to any
Oh
anime.
yeah. Because like I said, I mean it was okay. It wasn't like granted it was rated what a 7.8 out of 10. I didn't finish watching it all the way, but I would say depending on certain verification, certain things and how it played out towards it all, I say at best maybe 7, probably under.
I guess Zoe is 6.5.
Well,
It could have been a 7. It was later franchise, no, later the series that it went from 7 to 8 because it seemed like they learned from their past mistake from the other series and they tried to do more expanding on the character. Oh hell no! Eric. During this thing has an amazing anime clip teaser to make you wish the Duffer Boy. No, I'm not watching Stranger Things. My kid watched that. And no, you can't talk to them about Joy. With Anime Cracker asked about Joy appropriate, really? Really? Eric? Wow. Animal Cracker.
yes, crackers.
This man is comparing Joy to Animal Cracker. Really?
Yeah, at this point, Technically, it looks like he too has his hand in the cookie jar.
Oh, shot fire! Fight! I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to figure out which anime. I'm trying to figure out which anime I'm gonna watch for next month. I want to stay focused on because I might have to catch up with some of the anime that I missed this year. I have things. I need to backtrack and watch some anime to get an idea of future. That's what it is. Um,
Well, think of it like this. At least you're ahead of me because I have so much to catch up to.
and ladies and gentlemen, we do have a Discord server
Which has
where
not
I
been fine-tuned yet.
try. Oh yeah, there's a not a reboot, but a sequel to a old anime that we haven't even got to talk about. Running Warrior. That probably
Oh,
coming out soon. Um,
well.
One Punch Man season 3. It's supposed to be coming out soon. The beginning after the end, season 2 is in production. We've been confirmed. The anime is cool. I'm not gonna lie. Very cool anime. I give it a 4 out of 5. After One Punch Man, this is one of those sarcastic anime with some adult mature jokes. But it's a cool anime to watch. I'll tell you that for sure. Oh yeah, found this one out. There's gonna be a part 7 to the JoJo Bizarre Adventure.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah, it's just when you thought that the JoJo franchise was done, they came up with a surprise. There will be a part 7. I heard there was a lawsuit. Vid Media win up to $26 million in damage following the Ruby lawsuit. Crazy.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm trying to post
Uh,
as much anime
no.
news as possible on our Discord server, so maybe you
Yeah.
can use it as a way of the discussing these things out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. But one thing I will put out there, right? As far as just to stay on the Zoids for a little bit more longer.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want us to extend this, we will definitely extend it by also, well, in the near future after we finish off our list. Because one thing's for sure, I mean, we want to backtrack history. They did technically, I think they supposedly did backtrack it with Zoids Genesis. And if I'm not mistaken, Zoids Genesis was was the grounding point.
That's very, very true. Now, it ought to be confirmed that the writing of the Shield Hero season 4 officially listed on the 12th episode.
Which one?
The writing of the Shield Hero season 4.
Oh,
And the list they have 12 episodes for that season. So it'll be a Blu-ray DVD tech coming out for that one. And that's just so far I have gone. I have not checked lately today for any updated news. What I'm trying to do right now going forward is see if I can find any information about any upcoming anime posted in our Discord server so people can get familiar. If you want to join our Discord server, I'll figure out how you can post the link to the server, to the channel, so people can join the server and get into the conversation of it. But we're still working on the server actually. I know Wally about to make do magic with it. But the man is a busy man, so I can't hold him on that.
Huh? That's weird.
What? Speak.
No, because I'm looking at some of these Zoids updates, and because there's at least in total there's four Zoids anime shows in total. But so funny enough, the original Zoids was 67 episodes. The one behind it by the time of debuting was 26 episodes.
Mhm.
But Genesis and Zoid Wild Zero, those were actually one of the newer ones, which is interesting because
Yeah, Wild Zero and Wild Zero Senki
yeah, so
or
those were
Zoid.
the most ones that were the newest ones. So
But
yeah,
the problem with the last two, one of the other one, they didn't translate with English, and I've been trying to find the English version of it. That became hard.
yeah, but
Um,
definitely something might we might reintroduce. I mean, if you guys want to, because definitely those look like some drawback history because Zoid Genesis, I took a little quick measurement and
Georgia, no, Georgia was a very good one, with a very good
yeah,
series. I would say they did their best with that one.
yeah,
They give it some depth, give it some character development. They built it out properly well. Georgia was a very good one. Yo, can you take over for the mute the bathroom real quick? So,
yeah. I mean, just end the show to be honest, because I think we're done here because there's nothing much more we
I
can
know,
do.
because any other information that you found about upcoming anime, you could speak about it for a few seconds before I come back. But I was trying to see something like this one now when you start putting some information.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
honestly, there was nothing
My
else.
Hero Season 8 Academia revealed a new tail trailer. I haven't seen the trailer for the My Hero Academia Season 8. That's probably coming up soon, but we could speak on that. You have more information. Give me a sec, I'll be right back.
Okay, hold on. Let me get into Discord because personally, I'm ready to end the show. Like literally, I'm ready to end the show. Okay. So right, so My Heroes Academia season 8 final. Well, damn, it's already hitting the finals. Oh man, okay. No upgrades. No long term visual sense. Okay, well that sucks. Um, so My Hero Academia final season, as far as season 8, has been announced with a new trailer. A new teaser trailer will be released June 16, which is already out pretty much, which celebrates as Heroes Day in Japan. Okay, interesting. And it's set to be streaming on Crunchyroll. So give me a moment because I actually want to see if they do have that out and how much episodes do they have out already.
And, and here's the thing though, it's a Hero Day. You ever notice that I found strange? That a lot of these anime have a so-called holiday in Japan.
Well,
I remember one time I saw a picture when they wanted to celebrate Naruto. They paint the entire train. Imagine that. And I believe Naruto was a very huge impact anime in Japan. They paint the whole entire train to celebrate Naruto. So it might have been a blockbuster. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're soon going to end the show kind of a little early today because I thought we could get more conversation out on the Zoid, but it seemed like you don't want to do the whole entire franchise. We're trying to do by season by season. Give me a predicament. You call me out on the on the zone. What are you trying to say?
Yeah. What happened?
I didn't get my time to predicament, but here's the thing though.
David got himself into a predicament he can't get out of now. because I'm calling him out in the zone where there is no escape. What the?
Yeah, same.
I'm guessing he's talking about the Facebook group.
Yeah, you gotta be a faithful group. Because here's my thing. The Zoe conversation, we were discussing about it before how we're going to talk about it because one, we have to realize whenever you want to talk about anybody franchise, we do by season. And we focus on season one. Now, we might have to do two seasons depending on the conversation in case of we don't have more than enough to speak on or based on the information available for us to speak upon. Because what I'm doing this right here, this is that Discord, any upcoming anime news, I'm trying to post it so we can keep track of what's happening, what taking place. This one here got me wondering because for one, when last time you even seen this? It was like almost 27 years ago. Morning Warrior, and you talk about a sequel, not a reboot, but a sequel. Make it make sense. Now, Wonder Woman was a very cool anime. And I would think they'll do a reboot whereby it will give it better production. But that's not the case. So going forward on our Discord, any announcement for any anime, I'll start putting them here. If I find any article that we're discussing about, if you join our Discord, we don't got too many people right now. Or we're trying to flush out the idea what we'll be having over here, what we'll be discussing, what kind of activity we'll be doing, what kind of challenge we'll be doing. You want to go to the community very, very unique. You're a big time anime fan. We want to go into this anime discussion every week, Wednesday. You have any idea or what subject to talk about? You hit it on our YouTube page, put it on the comment of the video, let us know. We'll look into it. Once we can find the time to post the link to the Discord so that everybody can join, we'll have discussion about certain anime. What do you feel about the content about certain franchise? I want to make sure we go into depth and we criticize it. Oh, really? Whoever telling me. He tell me to wrap up the show and get in the ring.
Don't worry, Wally. You'll just get a promotion as main host for next. Trust me, I don't need a promotion. I will always be psychic of the show.
Now, let me pull out this. I love what we do every Wednesday. We have the discussion about the anime. But there are some anime that me and Wally we have going back and forth. I think we got a little rough. But we were calling out the shit show that we were seeing some of these anime, like we're kind of like pitching it off. For like they're giving some lackluster content. And I think this is key to having a great show. We be not afraid or to be canceled or bashing or criticizing some anime because some anime was great, some anime was pitch poor. Some anime was all right, could have been better. Some anime was more like, try. So my final thought on this was just this. Zoid, after multiple seasons, it got better. But from the very beginning, it was trying to find its direction, trying to find its angle. And to the fact that you had a very unique idea, but it to be flushed out probably you did later on, I give it a 6.5. What's your final thought?
Well, like I said, I can't give it a rating number just yet for the whole season yet. I haven't rewatched the whole season, but like I said, definitely some certain things that are there. Again, where the anime started for where I watched it for so far, it's okay. Nothing like too like dreaded per se.
Hmm.
But once I finish it off, eventually I'll be able to come back and talk about this overall. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, one thing I will tell you guys is though, like I said, there is anime being produced as uploads. So be aware of those when they pop up, when they get dropped. So make sure y'all locked in, y'all ring that bell, and stay tuned when those uploads pop up. Because again, there's going to be certain anime talks that are just going to be uploaded, not live streamed.
And that's it. The idea we were talking about too, because there's some anime we would want to go in a little further and dissect certain areas. So while I will be doing some of these videos, I will do some of these videos. It depends on the knowledge base that we have, and want to dissect a little further. So until then, we will do some upload on the channel. Either he do it or I do it. There's some anime I want to go in and obliterate and just dissect it and call it out, or put in the science. Because Dragon Ball franchise, there's a lot of things that have been overlooked. So he will either got me ready, give me let me know this dissecting or certain misinformation about that particular franchise, what the direction is supposed to go. It will be ongoing. It could be upload, not may not be live, but could depend on our schedule because we try and get things going. But based on our schedule, what we are doing on an everyday basis, it could be very hectic. So on that note, due
Hold
to
on, hold on,
CBN, hold
hold
up,
on.
go ahead.
You
Oh
forgot
yeah,
one
the
last
schedule.
thing. Got one last thing to
Schedule.
schedule. So tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, where you have good old Paul Bennett and Coach Ferg coming on in talking about the modern gent code, redefining manhood with class, character, and confidence. On Saturday, we got Ghostbusters, the cultural phenomenon of ghost hunting and comedy. Stay tuned for that on Saturday. And then on, if I'm not mistaken, next week's Tuesday, we have The Quest for Meaning, exploring the purpose of life. And of course, Sunday, that will be something, eventually that'll be popped up, whatever show that may be for the gray area. So just stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's what's gonna be up there. Also, hold on one moment. Give me a moment. Wait a minute. Because I want to make sure that this is actually up here.
So we'll be next week Wednesday topic.
Oh yeah, I must have skipped. I must have passed it. But yeah, next week is Bugo Straw Dragon, the the literature heroes with supernatural powers.
Yeah, it should be an interesting conversation.
Yep, because especially since this is a new anime, so that means I've definitely got to make sure to watch it.
Yeah. I watch a lot of anime because it's better than watching regular TV to be honest.
Yeah.
So on that note, this is CBN Tech Talk, aka Black David, aka Bear Paul. Here's Wally, my co-host, our manager, give us insight on the algorithm. He always busy, so am I. So when you got to be safe, keep it tight, stay fresh. Come back next Wednesday when we have another discussion about anime. Either we will criticize it or we're gonna praise it. Who knows?
What the heck, Eric? Next week, the David Memorial. What the world? Okay.
Next week it's not gonna be my memorial service, so I don't care what anybody say. I will still be here. Just that
All
I
right, ladies and
know
gentlemen,
they
see you
want to
next
hold
time,
me for
sweetheart.
the JoJo Bizarre Adventure, which is out of my control because I'll be burning myself to the ground. If you understand what's going on here in the United States, in the eastern region, it's getting kind of tight. I can only do so much.
This heat is
So on,
getting
that-
tight. It's getting
so
tight.
on that note, be safe, keep it tight. Hope to see you next Wednesday. Be here tomorrow for Mr. Bennett with Code Third for the next gen. On that note, good night and be safe.